My name's Eric Welander. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about working from home and how smart home tech can make that way better. So there's been a whole lot of talk about working from home recently on the internet, and I've been working remotely as a software developer for almost a year now. And of course, as a smart home enthusiast, I've figured out all kinds of different automations that can really help my workday. So this is my short list of the stuff that's really stuck and makes a difference for me. So number one on the list is using smart lighting to make your work environment feel different. A lot of people, when they're just giving generic work from home advice, they talk about the importance of trying to separate your work and home environments in wherever you live. And sometimes it's not possible to give your job a dedicated room or even corner of a room where you live. It's just there's not that much space. But thankfully for me, I am able to use this room pretty much just for work, but still, either way, it's nice to make the lighting during the workday different. You can do that either by having the lights be brighter, changing the color temperature of the lights so they're maybe more of a cooler blue hue, or just changing the number of lights that are on or off. I think that generally having a brighter, cooler temperature work environment is just better and just feels more like you're at work. So for example, when I'm at work here in my home office, I can just change the lights to this bright setting, and this is usually the kind of environment that I work in. But then when I'm in here and I'm not at work, I might change the lighting to something like this or something like this, just to give it a different mood, a different look, and so I don't feel like I'm at work all the time when I'm here unless I am actually at work. One thing to keep in mind with this is that you might want to consider some lights that are not smart bulbs. Smart bulbs tend not to have as many lumens as some of the really bright, just normal bulbs you can get. And then you can control those in a lamp with a smart plug or with a smart switch on your wall. And that allows you to add more smart lighting that's also going to make your room a whole lot brighter. And especially if you're like me in a basement where you don't have windows, and even if you do have windows, I think it's important to have enough lighting where you work that you can make it really bright, and that just feels like more of a natural working environment. And then the other great part of this with smart home tech and using something like Apple HomeKit is that you can schedule the lights to change off of your work mode and into sort of a more relaxed lighting when you usually are done with your workday. So I'm in the home app here at my office, and if you can see, I have my different scenes here. So I go over here to the automation tab and I can hit the plus button and say when a specific time of day occurs. So I'm going to say when it is, let's say 5:30, and then only on, the weekdays, and only if I am home. So when I am home on a weekday at 5:30 p.m., I want the office medium scene to turn on. And then I can just hit done. Now that's saved. And so now when the workday finishes, I can just get that cue without really having to notice or keep track of the time. Oh yeah, it is towards the end of the workday. I should probably wrap things up and head upstairs and be with my family. So number 2 on my list is smart cameras for status. Now, while you're in your office, obviously life is going on around you outside, and so having cameras that let you know what's happening, notifying you when there's a delivery put on your front porch, that can be really nice. And then also being able to just check the status of when you ran out to the store to get toilet paper, did you remember when you brought your car in to turn off the lights and shut the garage door? You can just check that really quickly with a camera. And if you happen to have children at home, you can keep tabs on them from a distance with cameras, especially, if they're a younger child napping or something like that. And, some other stuff with this you could do with other types of sensors. For example, a door sensor could help you know, did you open the door so the cats aren't trapped on the top floor or something. I would also say that a picture is worth 1,000 words for a lot of these things. Now, I've done a number of reviews on this channel about different types of smart cameras. I recently did one on on the Arlo Pro 3 system. I have a Nest Hello doorbell that I integrated with Apple HomeKit via the Starling Home Hub. I'll be talking soon on this channel about the Eufy Cam 2 series, so subscribe if you don't want to miss that. And I would say if you're looking for one of these cameras to make the biggest difference, putting some kind of outdoor camera pointing at the main entrance to your home where you often get deliveries or people arrive can be very helpful. And then a lot of these cameras can spot motion or people or packages or pets and then give you notifications. So you can actually just focus on your work. You don't have to be watching the live feed of this camera all day. So number 3 on my list is voice assistants to keep your hands on the keyboard and mouse. And I personally have all 3 major voice assistants here. I have an Amazon Echo, I have a Google Nest Hub, and I also have, of course, a HomePod. And so I'm able to talk to the HomePod with Siri to control all my different HomeKit scenes that I've set up. I can also, talk to my Google Nest Hub to set timers, because I like that, because then you can see the visual screen of the timer changing really nicely. And then, of course, my Amazon Echo, I can check status on any Amazon deliveries I might have and get it to read me the news in the morning. So having all 3 voice assistants is a little bit of overkill. You can pretty much do all of what I just said with one of those. And just having that in earshot of where you're working can be really nice, because especially things like timers really allow you to structure your work and say, okay, I'm going to take a 15-minute break, or I'm going to spend 30 minutes on this thing that I have to do for work, and just see how far I can get. And then also being able to change the lighting and other kinds of smart home stuff around your house just with your voice while you're in the middle of working is really convenient. So number 4 on my list is making you look and sound good in your video and audio meetings. So when you go to the office, you care about how you're dressed and you care about, how you look. And I think that how you appear and sound on these web meetings while you're working remotely is just as important. So I recommend maybe closing some blinds that might kind of soften some unpredictable sunlight, and then moving some kind of a lamp that's sort of behind where your camera is, so it's shining down on your face a little bit with hopefully a lamp shade, or it's bouncing off of the ceiling or something, and that will really help just have you nicely lit in video calls. And I recommend making a HomeKit scene that's specific to video chat. That way you're able to get the lighting wherever you're working to just what you need to look good. And maybe you're also able to trigger a light in another part of the house to turn red or something, so other people in your home know that you're currently in a meeting. And that can help your audio just by maybe keeping some other people from interrupting while you're on the call. Other quick tips that aren't as related to smart home tech: always mute when you're not talking, and try to use headphones for the audio you're listening to, because that helps separate it from the microphone that's picking up your audio. Always try and use your computer or app related audio, and don't call in with a telephone. That often has lower audio quality. And I feel like I've seen enough times where it seems like it's a few seconds behind what the computer audio people are hearing, and that can just make for some awkward conversations during the meeting. So number 5 is using things like smart thermostats to customize the temperature and environment of your room. So when you have a smart thermostat installed, you can just go to your phone or tablet or something while you're working and quickly change the temperature. Often if you're in an office, it's some, third-party service somewhere that deals with the temperature, and it's really difficult to change on your own. So it's nice when you're home, you can really customize it. And with a lot of modern smart thermostats like the Nest version 3 that I have, or some of the Ecobee thermostats, they're remote temperature sensors that you can even bring one of those sensors to where you're working, and then have the thermostat operate off of that temperature sensor. And that way you're sure to get just the temperature you like in your office or wherever you're working, and be able to focus on your work and not worry about feeling hot or cold. And maybe depending on where you're living, a smart thermostat might be out of the question for now, but you can also add things like a space heater on a smart plug. I have that, so my office in the basement can be a little bit cold, especially in the winter, so I can have the space heater warm up the office in the morning before I arrive and get to work. Also, I have an air purifier on a smart plug, and because I tend to keep the door shut in my office when I'm not here, and so it's kind of this enclosed space, overnight when the electricity is less expensive, my air purifier runs for a few hours during the weeknights just to clean up the air and make it be a little fresher when I get in the morning. So hopefully you found some of these ideas helpful. Let me know in the comments below if there are other tips that you have for using smart home tech to help your life working from home. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. Also, feel free to follow me over on Twitter or Instagram. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.